Hi, folks. This is Jan of the Jan Files. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. That's the YouTube channel. And specifically, I will also be placing some information in the community section where I can post lists of phone numbers for congressional representatives, which I will do after I make this video. The reason I'm posting is because this is a call to action. I want you all to call tomorrow. I want you to call your representatives, not just yours. You don't have to just call yours. You can call anybody's representatives, right? Because we have that right in this nation. And so I am encouraging you to make your voices known. If you agree with me and think that ICE should be abolished, there is no correcting ICE. There is no hope. There is no opportunity. There is no reason to think that these men and women will do the right thing, that are capable of doing the right thing, that they're capable of obeying the law. The very people that are supposed to be law enforcement are anything but. They are killing people. They are wounding people. They are abusing people, and none of it is okay. And none of it will change. New laws will mean jack shit, okay? No, they don't care. They don't care about the laws in the books now. Why are they going to care if Congress decides that they want to put some new restrictions on them? Who's going to enforce it? Please tell me that, because I've been seeing lots of police departments standing by and letting all of this happen, even in Minnesota, in LA, in New York, and other places. They just stand there, probably just a little jealous of some of these guys who can just go out there and literally, jump on people, hit people, beat people up, tear gas them, shoot them with bullets, rubber bullets, and real bullets, obviously, sometimes. I'm assuming that they probably got, oh, God, ooh, I wish I could do that. And not all cops are like that. So, don't come at me with that. I know there are a lot, I don't want to say a lot, but there are some absolutely good cops that are good human beings. So let's put that aside for a second. This is Martin Luther King's Jr.'s birthday. And he was, as you know, a man of character. He was a man of faith. He was a man of courage. And he was a man committed to non-violent protests. He felt that was the way to achieve his goals. And in 1963, he wrote a famous letter called "A Letter from a Birmingham Jail." And he wrote it to his colleagues, priests, pastors, reverends, whatever. He wrote because he was severely disappointed in their criticism of him. And in essence, the letter is about how they thought he was moving too fast, that his actions, even though they were nonviolent, were too much for white people to handle, that they needed to be given more time. Another 400 years? I mean, how much is more time? So one of the things that has long stood out to me about this letter is there's a particular paragraph. I'll read it quickly. But I want you to think, because this was directed to white moderates, but I want to just talk about this being directed to some of our representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Elise Slotkin, and others who want to take it slow, who don't want to go right it and say, we need to abolish ICE. We need to stop this horror, and we need to abolish ICE. For me, that's what they should be doing. That is my opinion. If you agree with me, I hope that you will pick up the phone and call. But I just want to read you this, and I'll do it quickly, because I want you to be inspired. Because I want you to be inspired by a man who gave his everything to this nation. And how did we repay him? So I want you to think about that. I want you to find that inspiration, that little light that is in your heart that says, you know what? I need to do something. Even if it's just a phone call. If you can't get out in the street, you can make this phone call. I've talked about this before, but let me read you this from Martin Luther King. This is a letter from a Birmingham jail, and this is 1963. I must make 2 honest confessions to you, my Christian and Jewish brothers. First, I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in his stride toward freedom is not the white citizen's counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice. Who constantly says, I agree with the goal you seek, but I cannot agree with the methods of direct action. Who paternalistically believes he can set the timetable for another man's freedom, who lives by a mythical concept of time, and who constantly advises the Negro to wait for a more convenient season. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. Lukewarm acceptance is much more bewildering than outright rejection. Now, obviously, that was Martin Luther King was addressing white people. I'm using that as inspiration to say to all of these, not everyone's like this, but a good portion of the Democratic Party, and that's who I'm talking about, that the Republican Party is hopeless. I am talking about our representatives who are dragging their feet and they are afraid to talk about abolishing ICE. And the reality is, it is the only way forward. They are not following the law. They are doing anything but following the law. They have no respect for our law. And do you think for a second that any one of them will change their ways, even given the law changing or being more restrictive? I mean, if you're not paying attention, if you think that's true, and I think you're being a coward. And I think you're being a coward because maybe you're afraid, oh, somehow the defund ICE will come back to haunt you. So what? Communicate better. Understand that most of America is horrified by what it's seeing, and you're still playing it safe. And that's a big FU to me. Look at this man. Look what this man sacrificed. And look at all the other warriors who have worked towards social justice and what they've given up as a result. So, you know what? Call tomorrow. I'll leave the list. You call and you tell them, if you agree with me, that they need to abolish ICE. They need to remove the funding. Now, whether they're successful or not is almost not the point. God, it would be wonderful if they were. But the point is, this country needs to see them standing up, standing tall, and finding their balls and their ovaries and marching forward. There is no waiting. There is no time to wait. And this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better unless somebody does something. And right now, the only somebody there is the Democratic Party and the people. We, the people. We have enormous power, and we need to make sure that we use it. that we use it smartly. We don't put ourselves in direct harm's way unless it's absolutely necessary. Martin Luther King and the people that protested with him and stood with him put their bodies on the line, literally. And yet we have representatives who are afraid to use certain words because it'll come back to haunt them. Then just talk. Talk, be authentic. Just say what you feel. You know, I said that the last time. That was a mistake. It was a stupid mistake because it's not really what I meant. This is what I meant. That's how you handle that. And if people don't vote for you because of it, so be it. You followed your heart. You stood up. You found your courage. And you actually did something. And that, in honor of MLK Jr. and all the other people, Black people especially, that have lost their lives in this fight for justice, are demanding that you step forward. It's our turn. Now go, you don't have to use, I'll put the list up, but you can find it online. It's ushouse.gov or something like that, but I'll put it up. It's time, and it's time to require them to do something. Stop being afraid. Losing your place in Congress is not the worst thing that could happen to you. I'll tell you what, go to the streets of Minneapolis. That could be the worst thing that happened to you. Thanks.